The film begins when Laura Peterson, a mother who is grieving the death of her son Caleb, an Afghan war veteran. Laura is sad until a guy named David Collins, a former U.S. Army sergeant who claims to have known Caleb while he was fighting in Afghanistan, pays her a visit. Laura then gave him a warm welcome and told that the reason for his visit was due to Caleb's will, which instructed him to go to his home and express his love for his family. David felt bad, but when he read her late son's final message and he feel guilty for making her sad. Laura instead thanked David for carrying the word from Caleb and extended an invitation for him to stay as long as he wanted. Laura's daughter, Anna, showed up as they were having a casual conversation and were about to go to work. Before leaving the house, Laura introduced Anna to David. Meanwhile, Luke, the younger brother of Caleb, is still at school. Luke is a shy student and has no friends. As a result, he consistently receives bullying from his schoolmates. Luke's face was even tossed into the locker by his bullies before he left for home. David introduces himself to Luke as Caleb's friend when he gets home and makes an effort to get to know him. David questioned Luke after noticing the small bruise on his face. Luke lied and said that he struck his face while playing football by mistake. Laura's husband Spencer got home shortly after that. Spencer extended a similar hospitable welcome to David and let him stay as long he wanted. The two then had a long conversation during which Spencer told David a workplace issue he was facing. In contrast, Anna is talking about David to her boyfriend Zeke while they are alone. Luke is shocked when David picks him up from school the following day. Luke was telling David about the bruises on his face, but David didn't believe him and pressed him to show the bullies. Luke then pointed to a group who had been harassing him at school. After that, David and Luke go to a pub with the bullies in an attempt to lower the delinquent students' self-esteem by buying them the most expensive drinks. But the bullies felt insulted and dumped the alcohol on him out of anger. David beat them. He then instructed Luke to confront all of his oppressors. David then persuades the bartender not to disclose his behavior at the bar using his legal knowledge and bribery. The action then shifts to Anna and David attending a Halloween party at a friend of Anna's home. Then Anna introduced David to her friends Kristen and Craig as well as her boyfriend Zeke. David rapidly became friends with Anna's friends because he was able to create an excellent impression. In the middle of the celebration, Kristen's ex-boyfriend shows up and causes a scene since she won't interact with him because he treats her badly all the time. When David sees this, he intervenes to save Kristen and, beating her ex-boyfriend. David's bravery moved Kristen to take him to her room where they enjoyed some fun. David first spoke with Kristen before approaching Craig and asking about where he could buy a gun. David replies he is a soldier and he loves guns when Craig asks what the gun is for. Craig promised to introduce David to a man he knew who used to sell guns. Then Craig instructed David to prepare the cash. David and Anna left for home after setting up a meeting with Craig and the weapons dealer. Anna offers to create a compilation CD for David on the way home. The next day, Anna overhears David on the phone and finds their conversation odd. Anna's suspicions about David grew and he began to search for information about him. She first made contact with the military to obtain David's identity. The military promised to look into David Collins and tell Anna of their findings. After receiving word from David Collins, Major Carver's KPG private enterprise assembled a special forces squad and went to Peterson's home. Finally, it is made clear that the David Collins who is now residing in the Petersons' home is not genuine, rather, he is someone else, and that the Petersons are being bothered for unknown reasons. The focus then shifts to David, who is going to purchase a firearm from a man Craig is familiar with. Craig was also there to keep him company. David showed the cash before the gunman showed the firearms and asked him to try them one by one. Unexpectedly, David didn't plan on buying the firearm. David killed the gun dealer and also Craig. Then took possession of all the weapons. However, Anna learned via the military base that the David Collins residing at their house was not the real David Collins because the real one is already dead. Anna quickly informed her parents about David Collins. But they didn't take her remarks seriously. She then plans to grab David's smartphone and take a photo of the list of recent phone numbers he has called in order to have proof. After that, Zeke calls Anna to inform her that Craig has been slain and that they are blaming him for it. On the other hand, Spencer finally learns that his coworker died inexplicably, granting him the promotion he's always desired. In the evening, before their family is about to have dinner, Anna tells her family that David Collins is not who he claims to be. David persuaded Laura and Spencer with his kind words and by showing his soldier identification necklace. Laura and Spencer once more disregarded Anna's comments and gave more credence to David's, which infuriated Anna and determined to reveal everything about David. The next day, while Anna was leaving Luke off at school, she asked her younger brother to find out what number David had called on his cell phone. David walked inside to grab the remaining laundry while he was helping Laura dry the laundry. After David left, Major Carver and his special forces visited Laura and inquired about David. Laura informed Carver that he was in the house. David, anticipating their arrival, attacked them right away. It was inevitable that David and Carver's special forces would engage in combat. Laura flees into the house despite Carver's best efforts to keep her safe. David was shot in the thigh, but he swiftly patched the wound and executed all the other members of the special team except for Carver. Laura was hiding in the kitchen when David encountered her. She questioned him about the people who intended to kill him because she is confused. But David didn't answer her question. He used a kitchen knife to stab Laura after realizing his cover had been exposed. While escaping, David cannot see because of dust and struck another car, which was Spencer driving home. He then shoots Spencer to end his life. Carver discovers that the car David is driving has been in an accident, but he is still pursuing him despite the fact that one of his tires is blowing out. He asked a passing stranger to lend him his car, in order to pick up Luke and Anna and assure their safety before David found them first and killed them. Carver picked up Anna first at the restaurant she was working at. He discloses his identity and lets her know that her parents were killed by David. Carver revealed that David is a test subject in a military medical experiment. He has been programmed to kill anyone who threatens his identity. He is unlikely to stop even if wants to. After learning of her parents' passing, Anna, who was inconsolable, called her young brother, who was getting ready for a Halloween party at his school. David arrived in a car not long after Carver and Anna left the restaurant. When he asks Kristen where Anna is, she sounds suspicious, so he shoots her dead and blows up the restaurant where she works with a grenade. Then David hurried to the school to kill Luke. On the other hand, Carver and Anna went to Luke's school before he does and enters the Halloween-themed haunted house. And they finally found Luke cleaning the place. Anna gave Luke a bear hug and expressed her gratitude that her brother was safe. Suddenly, all of the lights went out, and David in the audio room started playing the collection CD Anna had given him. David has turned off the lights and planned to kill them on the spot. By following Luke's teacher, the three of them rushed out of the place. David, who had foreseen this, promptly faced them and killed Luke's instructor who was leading the charge. Carver realized this and instructed Luke and Anna to leave while he battled David alone. Even though he was a major, Carver was ultimately defeated by David, a trained soldier that Carver was unable to stop. On the other hand, Anna and Luke discovered the exit, but David had chained it shut, trapping them within. Anna told Luke to hide while she battles David. Luke initially objects, but Anna explains that she will exact revenge for killing their parents. Luke finally complied with his sister's instructions before hiding and keeping David's knife nearby just in case. To make the long story short, Anna confronted David and shot him with Carver's gun, but David was still able to rise up and stab Anna in the leg. David attempted to strangle Anna as she fell to the ground. When she attempts to shoot David with the gun, it misfires, breaks the light, and starts a fire. Luke is worried about his sister, that's why he went and looked to help Anna. He immediately used a knife to stab David twice, freeing Anna from his hold. David was proud of Luke rather than furious, telling him he had made the correct decision and giving him a thumbs up before he passed out. A short while later, firefighters and ambulances joined the police in arriving at the school. Anna and Luke were saved but have suffered a great deal of trauma. While Luke and Anna are resting in the ambulance, they hear firefighters stating that only 2 bodies have been found. She noticed one of the firefighters limping as they were leaving the school, and the officer turned to face her. It turns out to be David, who quietly fled the scene while posing as a firefighter.